Hey, it's Bob out here at Serenity Hill. It's been a while since I've done any videos. My internet is wonky at best. I won't tell you which satellite company I'm going through, but I'm looking forward to replacing them as soon as Starlink is available in our area. Let's see where I can get the shadows out. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day today. We have been enjoying the warmth, but man, it's been cooler than I was expecting. You can tell by the hoarseness in my voice. It's really been messing with my sinuses. So I thought since it's been a while, that I would kind of walk you around and give you a little update on what's going on. Behind me, you can see a big pile of cedar logs that I am slowly but surely working on getting down, stripped. Got a pressure washer back here that I'm knocking the bark off with and then putting them in my solar kiln. And the house itself, yeah, been making a lot of progress. You can see window boxes in. We've with cordwood, the walls are so thick, and I don't have, the standard 2x4 construction. So without the 2x4s, you got to have some way to support your windows. So I've had to build these window boxes, and I'll show you a little more detail on that when I go inside. But yeah, got the doorway in, windows, 60-inch windows on either side of a door, 36 by 48 in the living room, and then I've got a 36 by 36, boom, right there it is, for the kitchen, above the kitchen sink. And right now, I've got all my window boxes in, I've got my doors in, door frames in. I've actually got my kitchen door in. I've had that door sitting around, leaning up against the wall, and having to move it all the time. And I thought, looking down while I walk, it's a little bit rough ground. And I thought, if I keep having to move this thing around, it's just a matter of time before it gets knocked over and broken. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and put it in. So I have a kitchen door. Woo! There's no wall around it, but I do have a kitchen door. Okay, let's go inside and take a look around. All right, we'll head inside and take a look around. Let me open the door so we can go in. Pardon my mess. It is messy. I don't know why I keep shutting the door so the wind doesn't blow it. Putting in my electrical boxes. I have my 200 amp electrical panel in, started pulling wires into it. And it's interesting with cordwood because, with standard construction, you run your electrical wiring through the 2x4s, but there's nothing to support this. So I've got my 2-gang outlet box. It'll be a switch for the kitchen lights and one for the outdoor lights. And then I've got one just hanging there. Well, that's actually one of the first kitchen outlets. And then I've got more down here. You can see those. I'll tie those up with string so that the bottoms of them are 43 inches high, and then I'll build the walls up. And as I get the wall up to that point, well, those will be embedded in the wall. The wiring will be in the insulation space between the cordwood, and that way my outlets will be flush to the wall, just as they would in a regular stick-built home. But there's nothing to support them until I get the walls built. So that makes things a little interesting, but I'm getting my electrical roughing done. That way I can start putting cordwood up. As you can see, there's the view out the dining room window. Where that pile is, the burn pile is, I'll be covering that with some fill dirt and push it all up together, cover it with some fill, and build me a water feature there. So you'll be able to see that right out the front window. Here's the front door view. Now, when I replace my satellite dish, instead of it being on a pole here, it will be over in the location where the solar kiln is now, and that's just a temporary structure. So that way you won't see a satellite dish when you look right outside the window. Of course, my miter saw, table saw, which is being used for a table right now. Imagine that. Other work areas, and the view out the living room window and the other living room window. That's a little nicer view. You don't see the satellite dish. And then the side windows, of course I got some of those covered. My built-in shelving unit, which will soon be wired. And our bedroom with the big closet. Nice wide closet. Closet doors are 7 foot wide. So it's actually a 14.5 foot wide closet. Excuse me, doors are 6 foot wide, that's right. 2 of them. And we go down the hallway into the guest room, and you can see again, I've got my outlets in place here. These will be 18 inches off the ground. I've got some string. I'll tie those up until I put the wall in, and then those will be incorporated and embedded into the wall, so they'll be flush with it. And some of the piping for the radiant heat, I've still got a zone to finish up. But it's been so wet underneath there because I don't have a gutter on the back that I haven't finished that. So that's just a little update. I've come a long way since last video that I posted. You can't see it, but I do have the metal on the roof, and I've got some of my trim up. The metal roof, with it being a shed design and with it being the high in the front and lower in the back, all you see of my roof is the trim around the edge. The only way to see the roof of my house is to go on the road on the west side of the property and to look for a gap in the trees where you can look through and see the roof of the house. But I made sure all that my panels are lined up and measured so all my screws are at the same level and nice and straight all across. It's beautiful. You just can't see it, but at least I know it's beautiful. And we've had some really heavy rain, and the water runs off the back side of the house, something fierce, but it's dry as a bone inside here, other than what blows in on the south side. That's why I'm building these walls. Will be the first that I build. That way I don't, every time it rains, I don't have water coming in. And we'll continue from there. Well, that's enough of that. I'm getting ready to go back to doing some more wiring and get this thing edited and find someone who's got some decent Wi-Fi so I can get it uploaded. All right. And hopefully I'll, as I have better access to some decent Wi-Fi, I'll start trying to get more regular on at least a weekly basis on getting the videos out there, because things are happening pretty fast. And I'll do some action shots showing how the cordwood goes up, because I think that would be interesting to a lot of people. It's not something that most of you have seen before, but it's beautiful. It's quite a work-intensive, labor-intensive process, but this whole thing has been labor-intensive, and it's made me sore quite a few times, but it hasn't killed me yet. So with that, I will sign off for this video and get back to work, and we'll see you in a few days with more.